hyperkyphosis, we're going to go over what that actually is. So when we look at the spine from the side, we want to see curves. We like curves, right? We want to see a curve that goes in your low back, a curve that comes out in your mid back, and then another curve that tends to go in again on your neck. So we like this S pattern. What happens with hyperkyphosis is we tend to see an accentuation of your thoracic curve. Your thoracic curve is basically this midsection of your spine. It's basically below your neck to just below your shoulder blades. This area here actually gets more kyphotic, more of a flexed position. So we tend to see more of that rounding through that mid-upper back. Well, you can see what that does, that puts the head in a more forward position. And the problem becomes as the head moves forward due to gravity, it actually can make this problem worse. And that accumulates over time, and that's why as we age, it gets worse. Now, when does this occur in life, right? So as we're growing, we're in our teenage years, we get into our 20s and 30s, where generally most people are fine. We don't see big progressions in kyphosis. We don't tend to see a lot of hyperkyphotic individuals as they go through these early ages. It's usually at the age of around 40 where we tend to see this really increase in people. And it's due to the fact that we've been spending all those years with that accumulating. And we're going to see this start to shift. We're going to actually see this start to occur earlier in life for people because of what individuals do. We tend to see a lot of students and young people, teenagers and even younger, spending a lot of time on laptops and tablets and computer games, and they're putting themselves in that position. And that's what's causing this, right? So if you start that at an even earlier age, now it's not just when you start sitting at a computer for work, now it's even earlier. You're going to tend to see that it's going to be even before 40 soon. But for now, we know that after the age of 40, we tend to see this kyphosis tend to increase and get worse and worse. Because as we get older, we tend to see increased muscular weakness. We tend to see decreased bone density as well. The degenerative disc disease also increases as we age. So all these things start to catch up to us in our 40s, in our 50s, in our 60s, and we tend to see these individuals get worse and worse. The worst individuals you're going to see are generally going to be 70s, 80s, 90s. You're going to see the really hunched people. This isn't good. Seeing people in this kyphotic position or hunched position has a large effect on their health, right? We tend to see these people that are in these hunched position have balance problems. We tend to see them have shorter gait patterns. Well, if you combine those things, balance issues and shorter gait, we tend to see individuals fall more. Falling is a main predicting factor in the longevity of someone's life. We tend to see later on in life, a lot of individuals recently after a fall tend to die relatively quickly. So we know there's a correlation there. So working on that postural position is really important in earlier ages, right before we get to those points. We also see as people are more kyphotic up top, they tend to be flatter actually in their low back. Their lordosis tends to decrease in their low back. This then tends to affect their pelvic position and then affects their hip motion. Affecting hip mobility can contribute to a lot of discomfort in your back, your hips, and it can also start to decrease or put more stress on different things in your hips. So we know these things accumulate over time. You also tend to see individuals that are more kyphotic, have more pulmonary or breathing issues because they're compressing their lungs and their rib cage on top of it. Decreased lung function or pulmonary function does contribute to longevity of life, obviously. So it's really important that we learn to acknowledge this earlier in life before we get there and try to correct it. So how do we do that? Well, simple thing is move more, sit less. We've talked about that ad nauseum, right? Get up from sitting. Sitting is what drives this on most individuals. We need to move more. But besides that, we need to do simple basic stretches and exercises. Simple things to kind of open up our thoracic spine, extend our back, right? Get us into a position where we're not hunched, we're more open. Keep our head back. Don't let that drift forward. Simple basic chin tucks, neck rolls, things like that get you moving better. So we're going to go over a couple exercises that you can do sitting in your chair and another one that you can do on the floor to kind of open up your back. But there's dozens of these exercises. We have a lot of videos on them as well. Check out thoracic mobility or upper back postural videos that we have to correct this. We also have an app that we came out that addresses this specifically, right? We have this issue of sitting too much and not moving. Well, we have an app that will alert you to move more, and it will give you specific exercises that you can do to work on your posture. open you up, get you sitting taller, standing taller, and your head in a better position and your chest open. So check out our app in the link below and you'll find out more about that. But let's go over a couple exercises you can do right now to try to work on this yourself. So the first exercise for that thoracic extension, thoracic mobility we're going to work on is a seated exercise. You know, a lot of you guys are sitting way too much. I'm going to give you an exercise you can do seated. I want you to still get up and move around, but this is one you can do if you just can't get up from your computer and you got to sit there. So you're going to sit up in your chair nice and tall. So you're going to kind of sit up with that tall posture. You're going to take your fingers, you're going to interlace them behind your head. And all you're going to do is extend backwards. And the idea is as you're extending, you're opening up your chest and you're extending through your thoracic spine. You can try to use the upper back of your chair to kind of put a little force into this. It should never hurt, but you should get some extension. So you do this, you do sets of 10 or 20 and just open up that upper back. You'll find that it kind of helps move you a little bit better. It's a simple exercise, but doing simple things like this multiple times throughout the day can go a long way in improving your mobility and getting you out of that hunch position. But let's do another one. Let's do one on the floor. We'll use a chair again for this one. So this one, you're going to kind of line up to the chair. You're going to put your arms and your forearms and your elbows right on that chair. You're going to sink your head between your arms and you're going to just sit back and kind of settle into this. You're really trying to push your mid-upper back down, right? You should feel this stretching along your lats there. You should feel a little pressure in here. And all you're going to do is you're going to sit there and you're going to breathe. Deep breaths. You try to fill up your rib cage here. Really try to feel your ribs expanding. Sit there and breathe for a good 30 seconds minimum and try to open up that thoracic spine. Good. The next exercise we're going to give you is probably one of the best exercises that I give to patients all day long. And I think everybody should do every day. So we're going to actually use a roller for this one. All right, so this last exercise we're going to do is my favorite for thoracic mobility. It involves you using a foam roller, but what you're going to do is you're going to line up on the roller like this. You're going to lay down, you're going to put that roller around your lower rib cage there, okay? You're not going to do your low back, you're just above that where the ribs start. You're going to interlace your fingers behind your head, keeping your butt on the ground and feet on the ground. You're going to extend backwards, and you're going to try to push that force through your upper back, right where that roller is. You're not trying to flare the ribs up and arching your lower back. You're trying to extend backwards over the roller. You're going to do 2 or 3 in each spot. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your feet and just drag your butt an inch or 2 down, not far, stop there, extend again. So you're slowly working up your back. Usually you'll find 4 or 5 areas that you can do. And as you extend over 2 or 3, drag your butt down again, do it again. The lower area can be a little uncomfortable. Don't push into a bunch of pain. It should feel a little tight and sore, but no pain. As you move up, it'll generally feel a lot better. Occasionally it'll pop and it'll crack. That's not a bad thing. If anything, that's good. That means you're moving things. So you keep working this until you kind of get to the top of your shoulder blades. Leon could probably do one more area with this, so we'll have him do that. Yep, and again, he's getting extension. He's pushing really through his upper back, trying to get that to mobilize. After this, he's going to lift his butt off the ground, and he's just going to roll back and forth just between his shoulder blades, a little lower. He's avoiding the low back, and he's avoiding the neck. So spend about 20, 30 seconds doing this. So hit each area, probably 4 or 5 areas in your back, 2 or 3 extensions, and then roll for 30 seconds. So try these few mobility exercises to get your upper back moving more and out of that hunched position. The more you can extend through that upper back, the better. And again, we have a bunch of other exercises aimed at thoracic mobility and fixing your forward head posture, which tie directly into what we're talking about here. And then also check out our app, and you'll find a lot of mobility exercises and drills you can do to fix that postural issue. So if you like this video and you found it informative, click the like, subscribe button, and get access to videos as we put them out.